Thank you once again. Thanks. A round of applause. That is a message from Elvis Chumesi as a rep for Unilever Ghana, our headline sponsor. I'd also like to invite Ms. Victoria Nikwe from Jupe to give us a brief message as well. A round of applause as she comes on to the table. Thank you very much.
Good evening. This year's theme, Empowering Young Minds, Inspiring STEM Excellence Through Media and AI, aligns perfectly with our belief in the potential of technology and communication to drive progress. The festival promises a month of insightful exploration and engagement with cutting-edge STEM topics. The SciTech Fair mentorship sessions are a source of great excitement for us. We know that these opportunities are hands-on learning and real-world guidance for lifelong passion of STEM. By connecting students directly with industry experts and emerging technologies, we aim to create a spark that fuels their ambition to drive meaningful change. Jupe is committed to supporting an initiative like this that aligns with our vision of a more connected and empowered world. We are confident that these brilliant young innovators will one day venture beyond Ghana's shores to achieve great success. And as they do, we hope they will always remember the needs of their homeland and think of Jupe Money Transfer whenever Ghana comes to mind. Here's to an inspiring and transformative event for all. Meet the needs and via Jupe. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was a brief and powerful message from Jupe Money. I'd also like to invite Mr. Ruben Sam from GTP, the rep from GTP, please. A round of applause as she comes in.
Confidence for everybody comes from different angles. Some people take their confidence internally. Some take inspiration from what they see or what they engage in. For us as a fashion business, we rely a lot on how people look and how they feel about how they look to give them confidence to take life on. Here at Prime Time and the STEM Festival, we seek to promote education as a source of confidence for everybody to take life on. Education, when you are well educated, you get is the ultimate source of motivation for anybody. It boosts your confidence. You believe in yourself. You believe in what makes you unique. And this is one of the main reasons why we are here as a business, because we believe our missions are aligned, they meet, they converge at a point. And so if we are here as a fashion company, it's mainly because we believe this is the right platform to pass on our to educate the next generation, inspire them to be confident about themselves, and then they take life on. And so for everybody competing in the STEM Festival, we wish you all the best. And we wish you confidence. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that message as well. I appreciate from afar who are doing great things when it comes to innovation in this country. A friend of mine, he's called Isaac Sessi, developed a tool that would allow seeds or products to talk. Talk meaning communicate their moisture content. Imagine if you can tell the amount of moisture in a bag of rice, because moisture goes a long way to determine if microbes would survive in these bags. The impact on saving food, the impact with ending hunger. This is great. We also have an organization like Agro Center. They won $500,000 among 65 finalists globally in Switzerland. That is a Ghanaian, and a Ghanaian innovation. So we are proud to be part of activities like this. That goes a long way to get us thinking, get us innovative, get us solution-oriented to the basic problems that faces us as a people. Beyond agriculture, there are other innovative minds from Ghana who have contributed to, like, telecommunication. A very popular scientist, Dr. Thomas Mensah, who of blessed memory, he passed not too long ago, who contributed to fiber optic technology, without which we can't transfer certain files through our phones. We also have Professor Alute, can be argued as one of the finest professors in Africa, who contributed greatly in the areas of X-ray and the likes. We also have Dr. Amato. I don't know if you've heard of him, the developer of the Abochi drug. In 1949, Nigeria bought the patent for the drug. It was very useful in solving problems associated with helminthes, like worms, ringworms, all kinds of worms. Nigeria bought it and named it the Abochi drug. I've been looking for what exactly is the composition of this Abochi drug. Fortunately, it's not available online. I think he died at a very young age. One of the first and few Ghanaians who were selected for the Nobel Prize. He was a candidate during his time for the Nobel Prize. And if you know what goes into selecting the minds that win the Nobel Prize, for him to have been selected, that should make you proud as a Ghanaian. So a lot of young people, like Solar Freeze, using the power of the sun to make sure foods or products or agricultural produce do not go waste, are some of these innovative ideas people are coming up with around the world. And I can assure you, the stories or the innovation the 10 selected schools will be presenting is sure to wow you. Because anytime I come for the SciTech Fair, I'm always like this, with my mouth open. Because these are SHS students and are able to code. Because there was a school that was coding and writing codes right at the event. I was surprised because they have math, English, integrated science, physics to learn. And they've been able to learn coding language and scripting languages like Python, like C++, name them. And this is inspiring because the future is bright. We are gradually moving on to the next session. Hopefully we'll be starting very soon. And I'll be announcing the person who will be the speaker for the mentorship session very soon. And so far, we've heard from Unilever, our headline sponsor. We've heard from Jupe. What was your tagline so I can mention it when I mention your name? Jupe. I can't hear you. Okay, meet a need. Okay. So when I mention the name of our sponsor, then I'll add the tagline. And then we have GTP. Lifestyle. Okay. So before the start of the mentorship session, I would like to, for those of us who are here, just ask a question. It's a very straightforward question. I mentioned a couple of people. Some were in medicine, some in agriculture. I don't know if anybody in the audience can mention the first name I called. Who remembers the name I mentioned? Okay. You said? Okay. Somebody said Thomas Mensah. Somebody said Sessi. Okay. Okay. Somebody said Isaac Sessi. Yes, that was the first name I mentioned. So you can look him up. He's doing a lot of great things. And then I also mentioned AgroCenter. I didn't explain to you what AgroCenter did. They were able to connect our mothers and fathers in the villages who are smallholder farmers to customers in the cities. Trust me, one of the biggest problems is how to move your product from the hinterlands, from the Bungpurugus, from the Waliwalis, from the various communities where these products are developed to the cities. And he was able to develop a platform that solves this problem. It's great. And you can receive customized messages in your local dialect. You receive a call, it's a customized message in your local dialect, not big English, and then it communicates with you on specifics as far as your products are concerned. So with the mentorship, I want to believe we're ready. Okay. How that has been prepared. I would go ahead to still explain some of the things or some of the innovative things that people have done here in Ghana. I've been biased. I haven't mentioned the female innovators. We have an associate professor. I'll mention her first because she lectured me in pharmacology when I was in KNUST. Associate Professor Prof. Mante. I don't know if you know her. She's one of the finest brains in pharmacology we have in this country. Then I would also mention the first full professor for anatomy, Prof. Abeidu in KNUST. She's very strict. She was my lecturer when we were doing anatomy in KNUST. She takes roll call. Yes, she takes roll call. You have a book at the entrance of the class. You think, oh, university students, so that she takes roll call. And it forms a part of your total score at the end of the year. So she's Prof. Abeidu. You can look her up. When you get into her office, you see all manner of things in jars. You see little babies, of course, medical research purposes. And she would, when she talks about anatomy, she discusses it with passion. You can see that she loves imparting knowledge and then contributing to knowledge as far as anatomy is concerned in the world as well, in Ghana as well as the world. We have Dr. Ave Kluche. There are a group of people in this country who like bragging with Ave Kluche a lot. I think I said it at the Sadel College. When you mention Ave Kluche, they'll tell you he's one of the finest. And when the argument gets tough, then they just mention his name. You mention a single rocket scientist from your school, and then you keep quiet. Dr. Ave Kluche is one of those minds that have actually put Africa on the map when it comes to complex systems engineering and rocket science. He was actually one of the first Ghanaian to command and control a spacecraft in orbit, including the ERBS and then TRMM spacecraft for NASA. And that's a big deal because this is the future when it comes to exploration. And he's one of the leading names. The people the 10 schools that made it to the finals. And please let's listen. I'll start from the 10th position with a score of 120. Fijai SHS. When I mentioned you clap for them, it wasn't easy. Fijai SHS. And with a score of 134, at the 9th position is Presec Legon. A round of applause for them. At the 8th position, with a score of 138, is Agri Memorial. A round of applause for them. With a score of 146, At the 7th position is St. Thomas Aquinas, SHS. A round of applause for them, please. At the 6th position, okay, I think it's a tie for both of them. So they are both 7th or they are both 6th, however you want to position them. Okay. We have Armed Forces. Armed Forces, a round of applause for them. And then at the 5th position, with a score of 152, is Bosom Tree STEM Girls SHS. A round of applause. At the 4th position, with 182, is Sunyani SHS. A round of applause for them too. At the 3rd position, a final 3, at the 3rd position, with a score of 187, is Ghana National College. A round of applause for them. And then the final 2 schools. At the 2nd position, with a score of 199, is Olag SHS. A round of applause. Okay, Our Lady of Grace, Olag, Our Lady of Grace SHS. Another round of applause for them. And at the 1st position, with a cumulative score of 218, we have Obuasi SHTS. A round of applause. Yeah, they've actually been doing a lot of wonders year on year. And they've won twice in a row. So we'll be having our next Avecluches and our next Cessis from Obuasi SHTS. So I'll be mentioning the awards. And then after I mention that, I would also invite, I'll keep the name after I mention the awards. Okay. So we have prizes and awards for the SciTech Innovation Challenge. There will be certificates and consolation prizes. Each of the 7 remaining participants will receive a consolation prize of 5,000 Ghana cedis, which will be shared as follows. Students and team leaders would get 4,000 Ghana cedis. The school will get 1,000 Ghana cedis worth of science, 1,000 Ghana cedis worth science equipment. We have each participant would receive a certificate of participation. And then we have exhibitors. Exhibitors, for those of us who have been there, know who they are. For those who have not been there, we have people who come and exhibit their innovation around. You see them come with all kinds of innovation. I think I remember there's one Joshua from Upper East region, Upper West region to be precise. He was able to make some sound speaker or public address system from things he picked up from damaged product. He was able to put them together to be able to develop a public address system. Those categories. At the end of a 2-day event, all exhibitors will receive certificates of participation. 2 exhibitors will be rewarded for presenting outstanding projects. Each of the 2 winners will receive 500 Ghana cedis and a plaque. The award categories would be Most Innovative Project, and then we have Best Young Innovator or Innovators who are 15 years old or younger. So if you have your sisters and cousins or children who are innovative and they have a product, they are not too young. Innovation can start as early as possible. And then we move on to the second runner-up. The second runner-up, students and team leaders will be given 15,000 Ghana cedis. A round of applause for that amount, for those who would be in this category. And then the school will be given 5,000 Ghana cedis worth of science equipment. Another round of applause. And then we have the first runner-up. The students and team leader will be given 17,000 Ghana cedis. A round of applause for that. And the school would get 8,000 Ghana cedis worth science equipment. And to the winner, the champion for this year's event. Student and team leader would get 20,000 Ghana cedis. A round of applause. And the school will get 10,000 Ghana cedi worth science equipment. In addition to this, the team will receive a plaque and each member will receive a laptop and a gold medal. A round of applause. So you see, this is good for the winner of this year's event. So as said, if you have your cousins, your children, exhibitors, please, you are not too young, 15 years or older, you could present your wonderful initiative. And then we have people are presenting different or unique innovation for that day. We have a summary of some of what they'll be presenting. From Agri Memorial, they'll be presenting integrated farming systems. If you don't know what that is, you should make sure you're there. We have Armed Forces will be presenting automated water irrigator. Bosomchi STEM School will be presenting vertical hydroponics system. Anybody heard of hydroponics? Okay. Anybody heard of aeroponics? Well, come around and then you will be wowed. And then we have Fijai Auxilium. I'll leave it at that. Come on the day and then you know exactly what is it they are presenting. Ghana National College will be presenting automated solar vertical farm and storage system. And then we have Obuasi SHTS will be presenting Osikani Farm, which is a multifunctional electric farm solutions. I would really love to see that. And then we have, these are some of the innovative ideas that were presented for the competition. Okwapeman presented automated winnowing machine. Then we have Our Lady of Grace, OLAG SHS, presented Garden X. You should be there on that day to see what it is. Presec Legon, farm monitoring system. I'm sure they are trying to be very innovative. Beyond checking, maybe there is enough water and all of that. Who remembers our fathers? Sometimes for security and preventing birds from eating some of their produce, they get a cloth and then they make it look like a human being in the farm, so that scarecrows, so that birds would think that there is a human being in the farm. But trust me, the birds are smarter. So it gets to a time where somebody kind of like makes sure. I saw one relatively recently. They installed a megaphone. And then intermittently, maybe every 15 minutes, there's a scream, hey! So that if there are animals there, they're going to be scared and then they would run away. But then, beyond that, how about which plant is not getting enough water? Which plant is not getting enough nitrogen, like fertilizer? Which plant is not getting enough attention? Which plant is sick? We would be seeing most of these things. And then we have St. Thomas Aquinas, greenhouse solar-powered aquaponics system. Trust me, the innovations are usually as interesting as their names. So we will be seeing more of that in the future. Then we have what was presented by Sunyani SHS, multi-purpose solar-powered agri-tech device, MS-PAD. That's what they called it. And then we have that presented by, I think, Ebri Girls, was AgriSmart. Then we have others like Tamale SHS, Farming System for Development of Seedlings. So this year, for the 10 people who will be coming around for the SciTech, we will be seeing a lot of wonderful innovation. We'll be seeing a lot of great things. Let's tell a friend to tell a friend. Let's come around in our numbers. And tell investors to come around as well, because we have people who have a lot of money and they are looking for smart and innovative ideas to invest their money into. I think it's one of the phases we have to get to when it comes to innovation in this country. Investors, please bring your money and then give it to these innovative ideas, because that's the point. Once there is a solution, the next is to scale it so that this solution will be impactful and helpful to Ghanaians and the world. And I am saying, if people like SESI Agro Center didn't get some of the funding opportunities that they got, sometimes as much as $200,000, $500,000. And recently, I think I saw Farmerline Aloysius. He was in KNUST. I'm from tech, so I'm a bit biased when I mention KNUST and some of the innovators from KNUST. 500,000, 2 million Ghana cedis, dollars invested in some of this innovation. So please, let's invite our investor friends to come around. They will be impressed by what they see and would go another step to make this innovation into a full-blown business. Once again, we are getting ready for the mentorship session. So I'd want to, hold on. There is a speaker for the session. Then we also have a moderator for the session as well. The moderator for the session is Miss Lucy Akosia Fiadonu. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Please, a round of applause as she comes around.
No, that's fine. Thank you, Yusuf. You got it right. Good afternoon. Standing on existing protocols, thank you so much. We are so grateful to God that we have made it here, right from all of the excitement from the NSMQ last 2 weeks. Hearty congratulations to Infantipim School. 10 years, and it's a strong comeback. So, Infantipim, this is for you as we launch this year's mentorship sessions as part of the STEM Festival. Yusuf has done a fantastic job whipping our appetite, getting you to come to Academic City for the exhibitions and for the challenge. We had the 10 schools that have done tremendously well, and I'm proud that my school, my alma mater, is in there on the list, making it with a wonderful innovation that is up for the challenge. We will go straight into our mentorship sessions. And just to give ourselves just a recap of why we are here doing the mentorship sessions. We know that this was part of the NMSQ, and MD Nana Ikuya started speaking to the boys, the girls, the contestants as they had breaks and what have you, and a wonderful idea was birthed that we will morph the STEM sessions, the mentorship sessions, and make it a standalone, that it will receive the audience that it deserves. And so please, just as very, very important, the mentorship sessions, the STEM festival also needs your attention. So fans of all the schools during the NSMQ, please, this is for you. Students, boys and girls, teachers, parents, everyone. The mentorship sessions and the SciTech Fair exhibitions, the Innovative Challenge is for you. So please join us along this wonderful journey starting today. But the purpose of these mentorship sessions is to help us to unearth our potentials, especially for those of us who have chosen careers in STEM. Again, we're whipping your appetite. We're giving you a clearer path in your mind, a clarity you need to say, what do I do? Should I read science? What do I do if I want a STEM career? And so we have very, very great giants who will be speaking to us, sharing with us their journey, the ups, the downs, the lows, and inspiring us to join them in this selection of STEM. You've heard from Yusuf, the wonderful people that have graced this platform. I'd like to remember Dr. Danielle. We did this 2 years ago with her. She's a cancer immunologist in the US as part of the STEM ambassadors. We also have an optometrist with Amasha, that's Dr. Papa Kofi J. We have Dr. Shirley Wiafi, who is a physician specialist at the UGMC. Mr. Banda Khalifa, PhD, also doing a wonderful job in terms of vaccine access at the Johns Hopkins University. And of course, my very own Makafu Yawuku is also at the Academic City, but through his work, recycling sustainability, wonderful, wonderful artifacts coming out of his work. And the list this year is just as wonderful. And as Yusuf also mentioned, just to mention a few, my own classmate, Lois of Open University, doing wonderful work with wastewater. She's going to come on the show, and so I'm looking very forward to that. Lawrence Dogley, also in the maritime space, also to give us a perspective of what happens on there. We also have Miss Phoebe Mawina Afi Havo, Mr. Edem Jakbasu, Mr. Jacob Osai, John Afedi Apia, Dr. Ayoko Kosa, Dr. Na Ajwa Ajele, and Miss Louisa Osei, just to mention just a few on the list. But of course, what ties all of this conversation is our theme, empowering young minds, inspiring STEM excellence through media and AI. We'll be telling our stories. We are storytellers in our own right. So just as our journey has been formed, we should be able to tell others. It's a difficult task, but with practice, and as we have our giants coming on from now till the 22nd, 5 p.m. on Joy Learning, on Facebook, and on the streaming sites, STEM Festival, and also on NSMQ, join us as we empower ourselves to share our stories. Today, you know that there's something different. I am cladded in a wonderful GTP fabric, one of our sponsors this year, and we are very grateful that you have come on board. Of course, you understand the impact, and so you have joined us to get this journey even more exciting, and we are very grateful. Joining you is Jupe. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey. We also have Pepsodent, you know, the smile that we always have from growing up and remembering our childhood. Pepsodent, and it's synonymous to toothpaste. So when you say Pepsodent, everybody knows that you're talking about toothpaste, and that is such an impactful brand, and it's so wonderful that you're joining us on this journey. I believe very permanently, so that we continue to share smiles wherever we go. Bell Drinks, of course, will take quick breaks, and so we need to quench our thirst. We will be enjoying that which you have for us. YFM, of course, as always, helping us with our media, and of course, GTP. I'm mentioning GTP again because we'll be having a wonderful conversation with one of our executives at GTP. But you'll be wondering, what has fabric and fashion got to do with STEM? Well, we'll find out more. Help me as we introduce Ni Akai Adote. He is a network and systems administrator at GTP. I will give you the platform. You introduce yourself. You tell us how your journey has been. I'll just be close by. So after sharing that, we also just go into a bit of a chit chat to understand more, deep dive. And also, I'm sure on the socials, there are comments, questions that are coming on. So please keep them coming. We'll be sure to pick them up and ask Ni Akai Adote about it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good evening. Like she said, I am Ni Akai Adote. And I completed Valley View University and had to do my national service with GTP. When I was posted to GTP, I asked myself, what has IT got to do with a fabric company? So I thought I was going to the design department. But when I got to GTP, I realized there was a whole different infrastructure. There's an IT department with computers and people having to use computers to solve issues and all those stuff. So I asked myself, am I ready for this? With someone green from the university coming into this huge, big company, coming to teach and coming to learn also how to use computers to maneuver and integrate systems. So I met one wonderful man called Solomon Atta, who happened to be our boss. So he brought me up, mentored me, took me through how to how to administer and put things together in the computer world. Currently, I'm a married man with 2 kids, a boy and a girl. And I am currently, by the grace of God, the systems and the network administrator. GTP has been amazing. There has been a lot of challenges. I heard the MC talk about funding. It's not easy funding and convincing people to invest in IT, especially when you are in a manufacturing company where they see to do things more manually than putting IT in place. It's not been an easy journey. I joined GTP in 2011 and I am still with GTP. So every year is a challenge with GTP, trying to convince them to invest in IT. And God being so good to all of us, this year has been an amazing journey for us because we've implemented a lot this year. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Niakai. I know it's very sweet and short, but full of memories.
Yeah.
Your time at GTP. I think because we are both here, we're having the feedback. How do we manage? Okay. Is it good enough in terms of the shot?
Okay.
All right. So please permit me. You know this is live, and so
Yeah.
I'm sure you're ready for some of the interesting questions that have come through.
Yeah.
What is your educational background, and how are you, in fact, using all that you have learned? That is, people usually say, I didn't use what I learned, so when I came in here, it's a different ball game altogether.
Yeah.
So please confirm or debunk all of those myths.
Okay, I did science TD with Koforidua Sectec. I'm a former Emery member. It's
Eastern
unfortunate.
University.
Yes, Emery member. That was those times when we say Emery member. It means Emery member.
Indeed.
And I went to Valley View University and did computer science.
Okay.
Yes, but I'm currently in the field of IT infrastructure with GTP.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at Valley View, what are the components? Because people really want to know what it is that they must do and immerse themselves with. You don't need to necessarily go through Valley View, but courses online, reading here and there. So we want to know what it is that's formed part of your curricula at Valley View.
Okay, computer science is basically maths and programming. So I was a programmer, but I happened not to dive into that field. When I went to GTP, it came down because I had to transform into IT infrastructure. So I did maths and programming in computer science in Valley View. And computer science is basically learning about the science of the computer, how the computer thinks, how it operates, how the CPU operates, how for you to write a code and for you to think like the computer when you are compiling them. It's hectic. It's time consuming. And computer science students are also made to understand we are introverts. Yes, so but we are not.
Really?
We are not introverts. We are extroverts in our own. When you come into our space, you see how funny and how wonderful we are.
I can see
so, in programming and all those experience and in all those journeys, in all those knowledge and the Valley View pressure. Oh God, Valley View.
Shout out to Valley View University.
The Valley View pressure is not easy. We were brought up more like SHS students. The MC was talking about lecturers taking roll calls. In Valley View, it was part of us. So every lecturer takes roll call. If you are happy to leave campus to go home, you need an exit.
Interesting, but how?
Yes, university students.
How has all of that helped you in GTP? Because again, you need to help us understand.
Yes.
How now systems engineering, you're printing fabric.
Okay, because all those things, in a way, made me someone who was open to adapt to new ideas.
Fantastic.
So when I came into GTP and I saw that what I have learned is totally different from what they are doing, I still had a knowledge of software engineering, which happens to fall under the systems administration. And I learned a lot about networking, which happens to also fall under the network administration at GTP.
Not to cut you, there's a question from Isaac Jimfi. He says, what do you do on a daily basis? So whilst you're delivering, tell us what your day-to-day looks like as the network and systems administrator at GTP.
Okay, with GTP, we have sites all over Ghana. We have in all the major cities in Ghana, we have sites all over.
Say sites.
Like shops.
Shops,
Sorry, I'm going technical.
Yes, so.
We have shops all over. We term them as sites. So we have shops all over Ghana, and we have all these shops connected to the head office.
Okay.
So when I come to the office on a day, I have to check if all those sites are up.
Up.
Yes.
As in open. You have to break it down for us.
I have to check if all of them are online.
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 Okay.
All the sites are online. And you have to be sure that it is connecting and interacting with the head office. Because we have servers that big computers.
I'm with you.
Okay. We have servers in all those shops or sites that are connected to the main infrastructure in our server room in GTP. So when I come to the office, at first I need to check if every server is online because they need to be replicating. They need to talk to each other. I have to speak English. You know the replicate.
I understand.
Okay,
but I want to, it's a shop. So fabrics and talking to each other, how does that connect?
Okay. So the shops, we are running a system in our shops, like a retail system that they sell. They sell. And also users need to access the computer, make reports.
Okay.
So we have the infrastructure, our file infrastructure in a way that we share resources.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes,
we share resources with each other. So let's say the finance department needs to access the data that is happening in some
daily
way.
Sales,
yes,
as an example.
Exactly, yes. They need to access it for their reports, to take decisions, for them to know which particular fabric is moving at which particular location.
Style, at the park,
exactly. So those are all parts. So these are all infrastructure that we have built that they can just sit and then make those decisions.
Fantastic. Yes. So through your work, linking all of these sites and making sure they're talking to each other.
Exactly.
People at head office don't need to call. They'll just come online and then they can see how everybody is faring just at a click.
Exactly.
You're powerful, and that is the beauty.
IT is powerful.
Well, and that is the beauty of the careers that we can choose when we come into STEM. See the power people are wielding. They're sitting in their small corner and commanding shops far up north, south, east, and west. What is a not too great day? Because sometimes we share the wonderful things, but when you have low days or days that are not so great, let me put it that way, what would that day look like?
Okay, wait. My role, you happen to be the front runner, and people tend to see things work and forget about IT. When everything is working fine, IT is not working. Like, they forget about IT. But if it's not working, that is where they say, now IT, what is happening? And all those kind of stuff. And we have a lot of people that are interconnected, that we are working together. Like, we have an ISP that have all their own.
You're telling us something. So ISP, it could be someone's career. Tell us what ISP is.
The internet service provider.
Right.
That's, they are also have their own infrastructure. They give us internet.
Understood. So they are down, and so you're
Yes.
not able to.
So
how do you manage such situations? So the people side, and of course the technical side.
So yes. So like I was saying, if there is a site that is down, and maybe they can't access the site, that is where emotions get involved. Maybe there is a report that is delaying, and in systems administration, you need to have that level of patience to be able to deal with people. Because if you don't have that customer service and somebody is flared up because their boss is on their neck to deliver something at a very short time and the systems are down, if you also flare up, then it becomes...
You cannot deliver.
Yes. So in our day-to-day activity, you need to have that level of composure. Because anytime this thing happens, all you have to do is just calm the people down, let them understand, oh, you are working on it. Sometimes you pre-inform them by sending a mail, going further to talking to their bosses to tell them that this is not the fault of ours, it's the internet service provider that is down. Because of that, we are not able to access this particular shop. But they've given us the time in 2, 3, or 20 minutes, they will be able to get it up. But we are working with a good internet service provider who have a very fantastic team, that anytime they are down, like in the shortest possible time, they come up for us.
Thank you so much for telling us what a wonderful day and then a low day can be. And of course, the lesson here is the composure that you need to add. It's not enough, like what I'm hearing, having the technical know-how and knowing what to do, you know. But having the human face is very important.
Exactly.
Being composed. And of course, I hear your agility being very adaptive, because if it's a change of environment in terms of your knowledge base, you need to rise up to the task, step up to the plate and deliver. That is the end, because once everything is running smoothly, there's nothing.
Don't forget about IT.
Don't forget about IT, please. But this platform is there to show with us, to show us all that indeed IT is very, very important.
Exactly.
As is artificial intelligence. Is it going to take over your job?
No. Artificial intelligence is something that is actually here to make our work easier. Like I always say, I educate my people on how to understand the syntax of these AIs that are coming. And there is something called the prompt engineering.
Absolutely.
So as we are all prompt engineers, because once you use an AI, you give the AI series of questions and then the answers. But in those series of questions, you need to engage the AI to understand that, oh, I am a friend. Like when you are my friend and I am talking to you, you know how to answer to me. But if I just come to you and tell you, you just give me some answer and go. So if you learn and dive more and read more about how to understand the syntax of the AI, you become a very good prompt engineer. So AI is just there to... I use AI a lot.
Fantastic.
Yes, I use
Any tools
AI.
you want to share? Traits?
I send mails a lot, so I use Grammarly.
Okay.
Yes, Grammarly has this inbuilt AI that you just type the mail and then it will just rearrange it perfectly for you and then you shoot
stuff.
it out.
Miyaka has been sending you
so yes, so it's fantastic to use that particular tool, and the AI is sweet.
Hashtag AI is sweet.
Yes,
please let it trend.
It's sweet. If you tend to look at where and the future of AI, sometimes it amazes me the kind of things they are doing. Sometimes you think for yourself like, I want to do this particular thing. You just push in the idea and AI will just make it easier for you.
How about in the area of the fabric, the fashion, and of course with GTP, how do we see, or do you see AI coming live? Because we can see elsewhere, the live stores, you don't need to wear the clothing. And I'm sure it's backed by the artificial intelligence and then the advanced technologies being used there. You just stand in the mirror and then you pick the items, augmented reality as it were.
Yeah.
So how is that, how do you see that coming into our GTP of Ghana?
Well, that's another angle to go, but that is more of the marketing team. They need to come up with this kind of things for
Maybe
IT
strategies,
yes,
okay.
strategies for IT to implement.
Understood.
So
okay.
For something like that, I believe that it's going to make things. It's not going to make tailors lose their jobs.
That is the clarity.
Yes,
for
it is. But it is going to make tailors do fantastic work, and it is going to make their work actually easier because. For you to sew this beautiful fabric, the tailor needs to think about how it is going to look on you, and for the tailor to have a visual in their mind. But with this thing that you are talking about, the tailor or he or she has everything displayed for him on the screen for him to choose. So you can choose your body shape, your body wear, this color, and all those kind of. He foresees what he is going to get at the end of it. So it's fantastic. Yeah.
Fantastic. And you know, when people put in prompts and then they get funny things, show me a lady in a GTP fabric, then maybe there's a lady in a GTP fabric but me with a scarf on it. Say, no, I don't want the scarf. So you see that, how do we sharpen the prompt? You said we are all prompt engineers.
Yeah.
How do we sharpen our prompts? Because now you've told us that one, AI is sweet.
Yeah.
It makes our works easier. You use Grammarly and then the host of other AI tools that there are. But how do we become very sharp in our use of the tool? And that should be our takeaway.
Okay. I started by saying you need to let the AI get comfortable. That is where the prompt engineering thing comes.
So every day you need to be engaging?
Not every day. The particular thing that you want the AI to do. So let's say the AI should generate a particular fabric color for you. But you need the AI to understand that you are generating this thing with this kind of experience. With this, I already know that the AI doesn't know you.
Okay.
You understand? It's a computer who doesn't know you. So you need to introduce yourself. Let the AI understand your level of thinking. So I am Ni Akai Adote.
Right.
I am a designer of 5 years experience.
Okay.
So the AI is updating its memory. I am a designer of 5 years experience. I have this fabric and I am sewing it for a lady of this stature, of this color, and all those. So the AI is updating its memory before you tell the AI, generate this for me. You don't just go ahead and tell, generate this, because the AI will just generate.
You know all these caricatures.
Yes, for you, because you need to. Oh, it's a
right.
Ghanaian. I'm generating it for a Ghanaian person, or like you need to let the AI understand
Some
it.
detail.
Yes, so that is
Awesome.
all part of it. Before you ask the AI a question, with that you are going to get fantastic results.
Yes, I think someone also says, this is a question from one of our social platforms, says, I've just completed SHS, and it ties back to what we're doing. We're saying, I studied visual arts and I'm very creative. I would love to work at GTP. Any leads on what to study at the tertiary level?
Okay, GTP is a company that is broad. We have a finance department, we have a design department, we have an engineering department, we have a sewing department. And we have, it's broad. We have about 13 to 14 departments. So she should just
She
study.
read visual arts.
Yes, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
She should put her mind to what she wants to do.
Right.
And then she should just go for it. Once she is good, she will work with GTP.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
There's a question on, do you think we have fully embraced technology in Ghana? Of course.
No,
No?
no.
You're using AI in your office?
Oh, no.
I know we have not, but
yes.
tell us.
Recently,
your perspective.
communication minister was talking about our 4G penetration is just below 20%. So if 4G, it means majority of Ghanaians are using 3G, whilst in advanced countries, they are already in 5G and all those kind of things. So you can imagine if somewhere in Tamale, the internet, and it's not everywhere that you go and you get fast internet. Just imagine what will happen. Even in our homes in Accra, how many of us are using smartphones and all the things? We are growing steadily. So I see us getting there, but we are not fully embraced yet.
Right.
Yeah.
We've heard about the different departments that you have at the GTP.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering if you didn't go in as your national service with your background in computer science, but you still had the opportunity to work at GTP, what other science-based career would you see yourself? This is Niakai, yourself. I mean, you've interacted with everybody. So, if I were not a computer engineer and doing this work, I would have been maybe the chief SOA or seamstress, or I don't know. So, tell us, and why, that would have been an aspiration for you.
Okay, my dad, blessed memory, used to be a mechanical engineer. So I grew up with fabrication. Yeah. So in engineering, welding, fabricating, and all to be frank, I thought that was where my career was heading.
Yeah.
Then after SS, I was watching a movie and I saw planes, aeroplanes, and all those kind of stuff. And I said, I wanted to be an aeronautic engineer, green brain and all those stuff. So I wanted to be an aeronautic engineer. But my dad was like, aeronautic engineering in Ghana, wine plane. Like, whose plane are you going to service? And all those kind of things. How many planes are in Ghana? They are even selling Ghana Airways.
Hey, disclaimer.
So that was then. So I was like, it was like, no, his uncle's son or something was already, and my cousin was in Valley View, and I was like, what am I going to do in Valley View? So we came to Valley View and they gave out those course outlines. And I realized computers were like something that excites me.
Yes.
So I decided to do computer science, and I have not regretted doing computer science. It's been an amazing journey. You keep learning every day because computers amaze you. It's a broad subject, because every now and then I sit behind my machine. I'll be like, wow, people are doing this. Interesting. Some people can actually do this.
Are you going to force the same passion on your children? I know you have a boy and a girl.
Yeah.
So they too, you will not give them the story your father gave you?
No.
They are selling GTP?
Yes.
No.
We are the 21st century parents. So
yes.
That one, they will do what the Lord has given them to do.
But how do you
and then
inspire?
we'll just support and inspire. Because you look at your children from this age, you look at where they are dragging towards to, and as a parent, you put your support and guidance.
I want you to pause there, and this is why this is the mentorship session. Yeah. Niakai, thank you so much for saying this, and I want you to say it again.
Okay, what I'm saying is, you look at the angle to which your child is going, and then you give him the support and guidance. Their interest. Yeah. It is very, very important. You don't force it on their neck, because when you do, they may grow up disliking what they are actually doing, and they may go to the school for you. Yes, my father said I should go to the university. Now I have completed. So you take care of them till they are 90. So you just need to guide them towards that path, and then you push them small out of your house. Yes.
Hey, what a strategy.
Yes. So they will go. Once they are excited, they will go, and then they will keep coming back and talking about you all the time.
We love
It's very
that.
important.
We love that. Please inspire our young ones, mummies and daddies, teachers, guardians,
Yeah.
the whole society. This is on us. The onus falls on us to inspire our young ones and ask them to join the mentorship sessions, come and watch the exhibitions, be part of all that is going on. It's not just the NSMQ. Fantastic, wonderful time through there. But this is what is for you viewers. So call a friend to call a friend. It's going on live here on Joy Learning, on all our social, STEM Festival, NSMQ. And here these wonderful nuggets our giants will be sharing with us. Today, we have Niakai Adote, who is a systems and network engineer at GTP. And he's giving us what his life has been, his day-to-day. And of course, my wonderful takeaway, inspiring your children, looking at their interests and supporting them in their fields of endeavor and that which they have chosen to do. Don't force it on them, you say. And of course, the one about being adaptive, being comported, wherever you find yourself, you definitely be interacting with people. You know, like you said,
diverse background, diverse background, because you don't know where the person is. Some people just may be angered from some late something that has happened.
So we should be emotionally intelligent. That
exactly, in
and
how to deal with people, how to handle these situations. Very, very important.
And of course, artificial intelligence making our work sweet. Hashtag AI is sweet.
AI is fantastically sweet.
Oh yeah. And it makes our work. It is here not to take away our jobs, but to make it easier. Befriend the AI tool you're using. Let it know who you are. It's not just typing in just anything, but letting it know that this is where you're coming from. This is why you're even here to ask for any generation to be done. And that way it will tune itself to get what you want, and it will not be garbage in, garbage out. But of course, it will give you the fantastic thing that you need to do. And then to show, aren't you concerned, let me segue here, aren't you concerned about plagiarism? Because then you're churning in, other people are also churning into the same, engine, then your work is seen somewhere. Originality, authenticity, especially in the creative industry as GTP finds itself. Aren't you concerned about that happening?
Well, that has been our major challenge. Yes. With GTP, this, how do you call it? These fake fabrics. Copies. Yes. It has been our challenge since time in. But, I always keep asking people, anytime I go to my tailor, I ask them, how much do you charge when you sew a fake fabric? They charge the same price. You understand? But with a fake fabric, you wear it for one occasion, and if you are not lucky and it rains, that will be the end of the fabric. But with GTP, you are rest assured of quality. Absolutely. I've had this shirt. This is the 4th year.
Yeah.
But look at how it is. You understand?
Right.
And I'm sure you are going to wear it, and your children will wear it.
You see you. You see you.
So once you just buy the quality first, and then sew it and keep it in your wardrobe for a very long time. But if you say, oh, I am going for this outdoory, and then I will sew a shirt the next time, the tailor will just take you still the 200 cedis that they are charging. Each time. So
every occasion, a new fabric, a new fake fabric.
Yes.
And then wahala.
Because you are buying a cheap fabric.
Right.
No, don't do that.
Please, not just giving you career advice, but something also to keep the pennies also in your pocket.
Exactly. So the copies are a challenge.
Right.
And we are trying our best and managing. It will take time, but we are doing our best.
I'm sure there are a lot of women in the space, but how many of them are deep in using technology in their work?
Well, I receive national service and attachment students in my office, and majority of the time I tend to draw a bit closer to the ladies, because the IT infrastructure is not difficult, but when you come, just make sure you are just ready to learn. So I always encourage them that, listen, in our department, in the department of 10 in GTP, we are all male.
Let's do something about it. then.
Exactly. So we need a feminine touch sometimes. Sometimes you come to work and then you see these male friends, hey, Charlie, what's up? And all those, you'll be eating your watch and they'll eat some. But, you know, with the women, there is a little bit of composure in how they handle things and how they keep the office and even how they handle human beings and situations.
There's a lot to learn from us.
Yes. Everything goes to my wife. If you ask me, if I don't want to go somewhere, I'll just tell you.
Is she also from a STEM background?
No, she did social.
Sociology,
so yes,
okay, great.
but she's adapting to it. She's adapting to the computers. She is adapting to all the, and she's enjoying it because she finds it easier for her. When I come, I introduce her to the AI thing, and she tells me, "Hey, Charlie, my boss thinks I am some shark bio."
You see.
So like AI is sweet when you use it and you understand it.
Yes.
So like I was saying, like the women. We need more of the women. They have to come. They shouldn't see it as a difficult.
Please don't see it as a difficult.
No, it's not a
path
difficult.
at all.
It's not difficult at all. It's easier, and it is even easier if you are in tech as a woman.
Thank you.
You understand, because everything you are favored.
Thank you.
Because when they say they are choosing 10 guys. There are 10 guys here, and you are just one. You will be the only one they choose, and you just get an open. It's an easy pass for you to just try it.
But we earn it. Of course, we work as hard
exactly
as anyone,
exactly.
and then of course we deserve it. Not the trophy selection, as it were, but of course the women do equally very well. I mean, of course, even look at the performance at the just ended MSQ. Wesley Girls coming all the way up, and of course the Perpetual with the Cater School also, you know, showing us the shining stars that we have in women. Of course, then there's a long list. And speaking about women, you have set the ball, you know, rolling. And we also have a woman to continue this journey with us today on the conversation on STEM. Yes, she's called Dr. Hevzi Angela Tego.
Thank you.
Please, let's give her a round of applause. She will come and join us here. Yes, please. Whilst we conclude our conversation on the place of women. Doc, I know you heard what Niakai said about AI being sweet. He's ending also very nicely, sweetly, sharing that ladies come into tech, and I say it's like you knew what was going to happen next. Of course, we have very strong women in tech, in science, in engineering, mathematics, and one such as Dr. Angie, and we're going to hear more about her. You will be surprised. Double masters, double PhD.
Hey.
She has a lot up her sleeves.
I love education.
That's the bottom line.
Yes.
That's the bottom line. But thank you so much, Mr. Akai. Wonderful time spent with you. GTP, please go out there, get the quality. Get the quality that will last you and your grandchildren and your children, great-grandchildren. Thank you so much, Niakai. Thank you. Doc, I know I swept you just straight into the next conversation. We're really looking forward to you. Niakai started this journey with us, setting the ball rolling.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you all for waiting patiently.
No, the pleasure is all ours. Women in technology, this is a segue into discussing with Niakai.
Yes.
I'm not wrong to say you love school.
I do. Facts.
How many degrees do you have?
Just the standard that we all have at the table.
No. That's not true. Tell us.
1, 2, 3. I only have 3 degrees.
You sure?
Positive.
What are they?
A regular bachelor's. So I have a bachelor's in biomedical. I have a master's in pharmaceutical science with management, and I have a PhD, broad terms, cell and molecular biology, but specifically dermatology.
All right. So that's 3 separate careers just By one person.
The formal educational
The formal
route ones,
educational
yes.
Tell us more about this journey through from BSc through to this. So that there's a lot packaged in just these three, but please tell us.
Okay. So, run through from beginning to end?
Yes, please.
Okay. Do I use a slide or are we doing a Q&A?
Whatever your preference is. Okay, there is a slide. Yes, you can use it. I'll excuse
We can
you.
run through this. Okay,
Yes, and then
okay.
you run through it, and then I come back and when we do our Q&A, if that works for you.
Okay,
All
that
right.
works.
Thank you.
Thank you very
All right.
much.
You're welcome.
Okay. Am I looking here? Excellent. Okay, and I suppose everyone can see the slides. I picked 2 photos of what describes my personality as a woman in STEM who wears multiple hats. Hence why I was hesitating a little bit with niching into what my main educational categories were. Right, so on an everyday, regular basis, I'm the usual lady. I love my heels, I love my dresses. And then when it comes to education, I actually love learning. And every year, I consciously make an effort to educate myself in a new skill. As a result of that, although my majors are all STEM specific, there are other hats that I've acquired along the way. So, the theme I was given was emerging careers in STEM with a focus on AI. And I think the journey and the multiple hats that I've acquired fits quite nicely with the theme. So for the audience that we're working with, a lot of you are still in school. Once upon a time, I was also running around my backyard at home in my little vest and underwear with my siblings at home. At that point in time, you're never quite sure. You're not thinking that early on exactly what's your career path need to be. But one thing I always had was curiosity. And so when they say curiosity kills the cat, I got myself in a lot of trouble several times because of that curiosity. And so it means if, for example, I come to a mentoring session like this, and I hear someone talk about AI, and it's something I had never heard of before, for the next week or two, I will be focused on going to find out what this AI is all about. And so for everyone listening today, if there's any information you're hearing, any careers you may not have been aware of yet, after the sessions, do by all means make it a point to go explore a lot more about anything that you may not know in detail. So, at that young age, you're not quite sure what you want to do. I knew I was curious, and what I did enjoy, I was quite good with a lot of subjects. So it wasn't a case of you need to go do STEM, so you're going to do STEM. But because of the curiosity that I had, when I got into the workplace, I'll fast forward and backtrack. When I first started working post my degree qualification, of course, my knowledge of STEM careers were very limited. We see our doctors, we see our pharmacists, we see our engineers. And so I went to a conference called the Life Science Careers Conference. And it was the very first time I'd gone to an event similar to what we're doing here today, where you're hearing so many different STEM professionals talking about what they do with their basic science qualification. And so I'd moved away from the traditional STEM careers that I thought were all that existed, to now being made aware of careers such as manufacturing, careers such as policy and working with government, careers such as even events management, careers like biotechnology, journalism, science communication, etc. And it was only from going to that Life Science Careers Conference that some of these became something that I was now aware of, and I had to go investigate further. Now, one of the topics that was discussed was science communication and standing up for science in the media. At the time, I had no idea what it was, but I did like media, I do like writing, journalism seemed appealing, but I had to do science as well. So I needed to go find out what standing up for science in the media was, which was a career area being advertised to science students. The organization that led that session were called Sense About Science. So as proactive that all students need to be, I dropped an email And it turned out they were doing a conference called Training Early Career Researchers on How to Communicate to Their Science. I replied and said I'd like to attend, but they had said it was only for PhDs and postdocs. I learned very early on in my career that if you wanted to stay in research and almost move into senior management levels, it was useful to have a PhD. Okay, but I come back to the potentials that a basic foundation in science opens up for you, because regardless of where I had started out, from the compound running around, during my primary, junior high, and senior high, all in Ghana, from my accent you probably can tell that I have been outside at some point. I've done a 360, I'm back in Ghana now. But from the foundation that I had, and then the opportunities and the other awareness that were raised once I had been exposed to other career options, when I went into Sense About Science and found out about what science communication was, I knew it was a perfect blend for the skills that I had and my desire to keep talking and communicating my science. So when I talk about non-traditional education, that was one of the courses I then went and did. So they had said you had to have a PhD or be a postdoc. I said I didn't have any of those, but this would suit me quite well. And so they made a concession. We need volunteers to be at the registration desk. And so if you really want to be in the event, you can attend for free by volunteering. So I get to be there. After registration, nobody comes to the desk again, right? So then you can sneak into the back of the room. And I did subsequent trainings about that. However, one of the other gentlemen who was on that panel, who was representing scientists working with government, ended up being my PhD supervisor. And so I'd seen the call, and I was very specific about where I wanted to go for my PhD. And so it took me 2 years to apply. Lesson on intentionality. You need to be quite clear as you're progressing through your career. You may not know what career you want, but if you know, for example, I want to study at Academic City, you may not be aware of what program you want to do at Academic City at the time, but you can be intentional about researching around what programs Academic City has to offer and be intentional about paying a visit and see if there's any of the programs that are suited to you. So in my case, I specifically wanted to go to a top 3 UK university. And the 3 that I was applying to, or the one I really wanted, was Imperial College and then was University College of London. So it took me 2 years to get an interview at both places. But when I met my supervisor, potential supervisor at the time from UCL, I remembered him being on stage at that event I attended post-undergrad. And this is over 5 years window. When I mentioned that conversation, it clearly worked in my favor, right? So I ended up getting a fully funded PhD studentship to progress. But can we go back one step, please? So I started off doing my undergrad in biomed and going to work off in a biotech company. I was there for a couple of years and moved on to go do protein manufacturing. From there, I realized that a lot of the research was almost linked to the pharmaceutical industry. So the only reason why I went back to specifically do pharmaceutical science is because I noticed there were 2 main research focus areas. It was cancer biology and it was pharmaceutical science. My curiosity, I had to pick one. I did apply for both, but eventually, even with the cancer biology, they were still working with the pharmaceutical companies, right? And that's what informed going back to do the MSc in pharmaceutical science. The combination with management was also because you very quickly realize as you're working that you can't just niche in sitting behind your lab bench. Everybody needs some kind of management skills. And so if there was an option to just do straightforward pharmaceuticals or an option to combine it with management studies, it just made sense to do the combination program. Funny story though. So with the management modules, the science students had to take it together with some of the business students, we all failed our accounting module, as in all the science students failed the accounting exam. And so they had to give us a project-based assignment because you can't fail a whole, class on a program. But it just goes to show, when we're talking again back to the emerging careers in STEM, that we need to be more broadly minded, away from I'm a biologist and that's all I need to do, away from I'm a physicist and that's all I need to do, away from I'm a chemist or a mathematician and that is all I need to focus on. Because in these emerging fields, you need a combination and you need to be versatile in more than one specialty area. It's still useful to have an expertise in one segment, but it's useful to be versatile. So started off doing research in multiple settings, moved on to go do pharmaceuticals, and then I discovered science communication. So I went and did some science communication work for a bit. There's some training in that. We can forward the slides. And so spent some time as well doing science journalism, spent some time doing policy work with the same Sensible Science company, and did some science writing with the Association of British Science Writers. The beauty of that as well, for the young people who always need a side gig and you're always hustling, you can still do your research and have a very successful side gig being a science writer. It's emerging careers. And then we can move on. Okay, we can move on from all the science writing pieces. So, science communication, we can skip this too. Actually, because of time, then I didn't. Move forward. Okay, but you can skip to the end. The points I wanted to make in terms of merging your science with the other exposures that you have is that personally for me, I get bored very easily, and so it's going to be unfulfilling for me to be niched in a particular STEM career. How I've been able to almost navigate around it is my creativity and science and the various science communication projects and outreach activities that we're able to merge on with the scientific knowledge and the background that I had. And so I have my lectureship or teaching hat, I have my research hat, I have my business hat, and I have my charity hat as well. And all of these, they didn't all start at the same time, but over time, I found a way to juggle the multiple hats I wear and almost not niche myself in one particular sector. But I appreciate the fact that there are various aspects to STEM, and once you have that firm foundation in your initial interests, it's easier to then build on and explore the other talents that you may have as an individual. So the final message to you would be, linking with AI, it's an emerging field, yes. Do we know everything AI can do at the moment? No. Do you know the skills you are going to need to be parts of the future of AI at the moment? No. However, what you can do is stay curious, accept change, and not be one of those people who sit behind and be like, the robots can't take over the world, so AI is a phase, because it is here to stay. And finally, I would say, my final slide is so coming. Your skills today will evolve to fit the jobs of tomorrow. So be intentional with harnessing the skills that you have, and wherever the AI tech would evolve to in the future that we are yet to find out how it would evolve to become, you will have ready skills to adapt to that change. And I would say thank you very much, and it all 360 then came back to my very favorite working place of today, Academic City, for biomedical engineering. We're back. Biomed, undergrad, we're back again. Thank you very much.
Hello? Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Shida.
Shida, yes, that's Ga, but thank you for those who may not be aware.
Wonderful. No,
Yes.
wonderful, wonderful journey. And science communicator, you say?
Yes.
Science writer, you
Yes.
say? So these are careers any of us can pick up and then develop, grow?
100%. Yes. So I actually went did a journalism course as well. So it wasn't a university program, but it's a short course, which is why I
Yes.
talked about the formal educational routes and then exploring your interests. So, like, I have a PMP, I have a science journalism certificate, I have every year be useful, basically. That's all I'm trying to say. Learn something new and evolve with the AI in the process.
No, Angie, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I have one question.
Yes.
Beyond all of this, I know it's the
Yes.
curiosity and a fast-paced environment for you, and that's how you thrive. If you didn't take this path,
Yes.
what would you have been doing?
I'll probably be a writer. I'll probably work in media.
Okay.
Yes. I always say if I had to reincarnate the two things, I'll be in media or I might be a model. I have other interests. It might be too late. I don't think it's too late for the modeling career, though.
No, not too late.
My nickname at school was Sexy Gogomi because,
Yeah.
yeah, but I
Oh,
could
for
be
science
a
now.
sexy science girl too.
Yes, please. And that's the hashtag Sexy Science Girl at the Academic City, where the exhibition, the challenge will be holding. And thank you. With Dr. Lucy, Academic City has been very, very generous in
Yes.
supporting us on this journey. And please, if you want to see more of Sexy Coco, you want to see
Said
more.
on national TV.
I know,
Gosh.
disclaimer, no, we didn't say that. But if you want to see more of you, of course, you'll be around to support us with the exhibition and all of the work that is going on. And then more, because I love to see all of the creative things that you have done, especially with the poster presentations. And we don't see that really in these parts. I mean, I did my undergrad in engineering, and I'm thinking back, just once, twice, that, you know, and of course, maybe some of us were not as curious as you were. And the point there's a PMP there on your
Yes.
laurels. And so don't just sit back and say, okay, that's it for me. But be curious, get into the other spaces. And I saw that wonderful quote that it all comes back to business. Everything comes back
Yes.
to business. And so you have a PMP, and that's a project management professional certification.
Yes.
You did some short course in journalism.
Yes.
All of this coming full circle, 360 as you say it.
Management came in useful because I then was able to apply it in
Flaunting
my
the
business.
accounting. So yes, let's take those short courses. Now Udemy as an example, Coursera, and all of these opportunities are out there for us to dive in and then hone in and then sharpen that, which is not just enough being a PhD in dermatology, Angie. You
Yes.
know? You know, so I was thinking, we are going to talk about some cells, and no, but it's all about
No,
giving back,
yes.
community, and talking about,
Yes.
you know, the curriculum and all that goes into it.
Yes.
And that is where the power is.
Exactly. And we say in the science communication world, the science is not finished until it's communicated, because there's no point doing all your research and it's stuck on your shelves and it's not benefiting the communities and the people that we're actually doing the science
worth
for.
repeating. Science is not finished
Until it's
it is
communicated.
communicated.
Yes.
Yes, and we'll continue to communicate the wonderful things in science, in technology, in engineering, and in mathematics through the STEM Festival. Many of opportunities that will come our way in the next few days. Thank you so much, Doc. No, stay with me as we conclude. Thank you so much, Doc,
You're welcome.
for the opportunity. Today is day 1 of the wonderful mentorship sessions. A fantastic lineup of mentors for you. We will be live tomorrow at 5 p.m. on Joy Learning. Also join us on our socials, STEM Festival on Facebook, NSMQ, Facebook. Instagram will be giving you snapshots here and there. Enjoy, I'm sure, our partners as well, JuPay, Transfer, GTP, Belcola, YFM. They will all be pushing out that content as we collaboratively communicate the impact, the power of science, the emerging careers, the work of AI in making our lives better. Remember, the focus this year is empowering young minds, inspiring STEM excellence through media and AI. It promises to be exciting. Continue to join us. Tell a friend, go to the hilltop, shout it, scream it, let everybody know that this portion of the entire NSMQ fun, this is for us at home. The audience, the fans, the students, this is for us, and let's be a part of this. I yield to you, Yusuf, to help us conclude. We'll see you tomorrow for the mentorship sections. Thank you. My name is Lucy Akosua-Fiadonu.
A round of applause for that wonderful presentation and the mentorship session. I'm sure a lot of us are inspired, motivated, and are ready to go out the hills and say the good works of some of our mentors. We have Dr. Hefzi share her story with us of how she had to do a whole lot when it comes to her career path and what she loves doing. I don't know if you noticed in her pictures, you can see that she really loved what she was doing. I didn't see any picture where she was frowning. She was almost always smiling. So the passion for it can be seen. And a lot of great things are being done. And let's not be scared of AI. AI is not coming to take away our jobs if we are ready for it. I'm saying if we are ready for it because there are always a group of people, anytime there is something new, they speak against it. It's as old as the days of Adam. The camera is one of such stories. When the pinhole camera and the long process of processing a picture was replaced by the digital camera, some people feel like it's not going to last. Some people feel there's no need to rush. There's no need to jump onto the digital camera space. But before we know what was happening, yes, some people did lose their job, but those who did were those who refused to evolve, those who refused to move with innovation. But then imagine the jobs, the digital camera and the little devices we use for videos have created. People have become millionaires in their rooms because they communicate using the digital device. TikTok these days is more like an editing software with social media dimension. Imagine the amount of wealth it has created, the amount of impact it is making, positive impact in the world. So AI is wonderful. And I am saying this because in the field of medicine, for example, imagine if AI can be used to query or ask questions in relation to what combinations of medications can be most effective for these kinds of diseases. So professionals can use them to develop new models to solve the, certain disease problems. It's endless. Sometimes I sit down and think about those who developed AI. It's something everybody should jump onto. You don't have to be, how do you call it, have a PhD or a master's to take advantage of AI. Mr. Adote also told us about how you should prompt an AI. Don't just give it any query. You have to be specific with what you are asking. Sometimes you have to make the AI feel good. Yes, somehow there's a research that shows that when you thank an AI for a result, it tends to want to do better. And you should know that AI would tell you things like, my results are not 100% accurate. You should make sure you check. And this is where I always encourage people to, you can't just use AI if you don't train to use it. So the AI space is a very interesting space. Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics is solving a lot of problems. When it comes to skin, I'm sure you saw a whole lot of things when you were doing your PhD. I had the opportunity to do my clinical rotation in Kokofu General Hospital in Ashanti region. It's a general hospital, but then it's largely, they are known for skin. I think before independence, that was a leprosarium, and it was converted to a general hospital, but most people still go there. What you call eczema, trust me, you've not really seen eczema. When you see eczema in its full glory, what we call eczema, you wouldn't recognize it as eczema. It's a whole lot. And there isn't many dermatologists in this part of our world. And as at that time, when I was doing my rotation in 2016, 2017, there was just a few dermatologists in the country. And hopefully, I'll share some of your work and look for your PhD thesis and read. Because there's a lot to know, and then there's a lot to be done when it comes to the dermatological space here in Ghana. And then we also had tidbits. Take extra courses. Don't just be fixed on the direction you're going. There are short courses online you can take just to improve on your career path, just to make you better and open up opportunities for you so that you can achieve your direction better. I wouldn't end without mentioning some people who are making great impact. Malaria is one of the biggest killers in sub-Saharan Africa. There is a lecturer of mine, Dr. Donko, in KNUST. He was able to isolate the active anti-malarial product in a very popular plant which had been used over the years to treat malaria. It's called Nibima in local parlance. But then the scientific name is Cryptolepis sanguinolenta. His PhD thesis was focused on isolating which component of that plant is active against malaria. And it was able to isolate it and called it cryptolepine. So imagine we had investors. So drugs like artemisinin, which is what is at the core of most of the anti-malarials you take today, in countries like Cambodia, are already showing resistance. So the malaria parasite is already developing resistance, like they did with, the quinines and the rest. So now, we have investment. We're able to develop our own local but isolated cryptolepine derivatives to treat malaria. So in the time that we have been here, less people would have died because of malaria. So the STEM space has a lot to offer. Those of us listening to us, those of us who have been inspired by those who shared their stories with us, there is a huge potential to solve problems in health, to solve problems in agriculture, solve problems even in the audiovisual space like GTP. You heard what can be done in that space because machines weave these things. Machines are the ones who develop these patterns. Gone are the days where people would develop these patterns from scratch. With AI, you can query it to give you wonderful patterns, modeling it after maybe natural pictures of natural, like trees, animals, patterns that it can be modeled after. So it's been a wonderful day. We've learned a lot. A lot has been shared with us, and we are approaching the end of the program. After here, it's going to be refreshment, but I would also want to mention those who we have at the high table. Once again, we have the Managing Director for Primetime Limited, Nana Ikuya Mensah Bonsu. A round of applause as we are concluding. And then we have Dr. Lucy Ejapon, the Vice President, Institutional Advancement, Academic City University College. Please, a round of applause. And then we have Dr. Kweku Mensah Bonsu, the Chairman for Primetime Limited. A round of applause for him as well. And then we have a headline sponsor from Unilever in person of, let me get the name right, Elvis Trumesi, right? Mr. Elvis Trumesi, a round of applause for him. And then we have one of our mentees, Dr. Hefzi. Forgive me. Tego. The HOD, Head of Department for Biomedical Engineering Department, Academic City University College. A round of applause. We started with a prayer. Now we're going to end with a prayer. So I'd also like to ask for another volunteer. I'm sorry I gangstered on you on the first request. So this time around, I hope somebody would willingly volunteer to give us a closing prayer. And after here is refreshments. Please, somebody should volunteer for a closing prayer. Okay. We have Ms. Akosia on her way to give us a closing prayer for the day. Thank you very much for your time. And then a round of applause for yourselves as well. It's been wonderful being with you here.
Let us pray. Father, we thank you for a wonderful launch and the impact through this launch and the many activities through the STEM Festival. We are grateful to you for everything, the production, and how everything will turn out, and how everything has turned out. We give you thanks. As we're leaving, we don't leave your presence. You continue to be with us and continue to make life very wonderful for us. We thank you and we bless you. Amen. Great pleasure. You're a doctor, I suppose.